It looks like they're about to raise it again.
High rent prices. It's a burden many people have been feeling for years. And according to experts, it's increasing. So why is this? And is relief on the way anytime soon? 27 investigates housing in the Valley. First News Weekend morning anchor Samantha Bender has the in-depth investigation.
Year to year, they just keep going up.
Joshua Yeoman has been living at Hillbrook Apartments in Austintown for 3 years now. Each year, he finds he has to shell out more money in rent.
Originally, my rent was about $650 when I first moved in, and now it is all the way up to $750 now.
Many tenants all over the Valley are in the same boat.
There's a recent addition from the General Assembly that essentially prohibits rent control throughout Ohio. So some other communities and other states have rent control and limits on how rent can be increased. But currently in Ohio, that's not something that can exist.
Data from Rent.com shows the average cost for renters in Youngstown up until June of this year was about $930. John Leckie, a researcher for the website, said prices took off as the pandemic hit in 2020.
We're up about 15.5% over that 2-year period. That's more than $275 added to monthly rent bills.
Leckie said they're used to seeing 2 to 4% increases each year, which makes this a significant jump.
Everybody's going through hard times, and it just seems like as soon as we get to the point where we're at level ground and we're able to make ends meet without having to go from paycheck to paycheck, they just raise our rent.
Leckie says this spike in prices could be attributed to people moving away from big cities during the pandemic. He says that's when the housing market really took off, feeding its way into the rental market and increasing demand in suburbs, driving up prices there as well.
And then as the differential between sort of the urban city centers and the suburbs became less, you had people moving back into the city center. And that meant you had increased demand there. And so now you had a situation where prices were rising everywhere.
Leckie said rent in Youngstown continues to grow at a much faster rate than the rest of the nation.
Youngstown was up 6.5% on a yearly basis in June. And it was even up 3.5% on a monthly basis.
Leckie said Youngstown showed an inbound population throughout most of 2022, but it started to change.
I think that's why some of the growth has slowed, even though it continues to grow. I think it is the slope is getting a little flatter. But it's certainly not coming down like it is in a lot of other places.
Not to mention, a joint report from 2 housing coalitions found full-time workers in Ohio must earn more than $19 an hour to afford a modest 2-bedroom apartment. Amy Regal with the coalition said when people think of housing instability, they think of someone who's out of work. But that's not the case anymore.
It's affecting more and more people. And for more and more people, the pathway to moving out of housing insecurity is so steep that it feels impossible to get out of.
I've tried reaching out to AIY Properties, which manages Yeoman's apartment complex and over 50 other residential rental properties numerous times over the last several weeks. They did not return any of my calls for comment on the rent increase. But according to Community Legal Aid, a landlord can raise rent by any amount after the term of a lease has expired. There's no limit. A landlord only has to provide at least 30 days notice before any rent increase, which can happen at the end of a year for a 1-year lease or the end of the month in a month-to-month lease. Live in the studio, Samantha Bender, First News at 6.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lindsay Watson. Thanks for watching the WKBN 27 First News YouTube channel. If you want more video news, subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the WKBN 27 First News app for breaking news alerts.